Beginning our Sunrise Smart Start, breaking updates just in. Several people arrested following a high-speed chase on the west side of the county.
Here's what we found out just after 2 a.m. Deputies responded to calls for car break-ins at an apartment complex on Union Square Boulevard in Chilai. The suspects took off. That pursuit eventually ended at Mount Reed Boulevard and 490. Again, several people arrested, but no names or charges have been announced just yet.
We have James here in the Weather Center, of course, because we got to get to that forecast. Slushy roads, mixed conditions today. It's a problem. You see that in that camera off to the side of your screen. Want to show that. Some of the traffic views around the city. The intersection of Culver and Clifford just saw a snowplow truck pass by. Not plowing anything yet, but focusing on salt because it is slushy headed out there early on this Wednesday. And then, James, it will turn over to rain.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. When the temperatures continue to push up, we had snowfall at 35. The snow pulled the temperature down. We're sitting at 32 degrees right now, and it's falling at a heavy enough clip that we are getting it accumulating on roads. So whether you're on 104, 390, 590, some of those spots are starting to see some snow, especially on the shoulders there. Funny Falls at 32, Penn there as well, Livonia 33, South Bristol at 29. Afternoon high temperatures when we change over to rain will be well into the mid to upper 30s there. But the crash down that happens tonight, we'll cover that in the full forecast. Brennan, around.
Thank you, James. And to the news, Monroe County lawmakers have voted to opt out of New York's statewide short-term rental registry. This would have required properties like Airbnbs to undergo safety compliance checks and verify sales tax collection. Some lawmakers, like Rachel Barnhart and others, believe opting out deprives people of the transparency they deserve, saying the data on how short-term rentals affect local real estate would allow for informed policy decisions. They also add outside influence may have helped shape the decision and point to the lobbying group called Ostroff Associates. According to state lobby records, that group has worked on behalf of Airbnb when it comes to short-term rental legislation. The son of prominent local Democrat and ally of Executive Adam Bello, Congressman Joe Morelli, is employed by Ostroff. Some Airbnb owners argue the new regulations could jeopardize their livelihoods.
You add on these regulations, and then in future years, the added fees and inspections and rules that we all know will come, made by somebody in Albany, then we're done. At that point, it's not worth it anymore, and our Airbnb will be no more.
This would level the playing field between hotels and all short-term rentals, not just ones on Airbnb that Monroe County has this sort of side deal with to collect revenue from.
That side deal Barnhart is referring to is the standing agreement the county has with Airbnb, which collects hotel tax revenue on these rentals. The vote to opt out passed 21-8, but it does not prevent the option to opt in later.
Following that decision, the county did overwhelmingly pass next year's spending plan, the budget worth $1.5 billion. That's about a 2% increase over this year's budget. Those who spoke prior to the vote emphasize the uncertainty when it comes to support coming from Washington. 2 of the 29 members voted no, one explaining despite the historic low tax rate, her constituents in Gates will actually see an increase in taxes they pay due to rising property values.
Well, I wouldn't be able to sleep if I signed off on a budget tonight that's going to increase the taxes for my residents.
It's an excellent budget given these challenging times, so I'm proud to support it. Thank you.
Supporters highlighted the funding announced for public safety, including for the county's 911 system and a 9% bump for the sheriff's office to help recruit and retain deputies. Funding for public health and child care services also among the items touted for the budget for 26.
Happening today, sentencing for the man convicted of murder and criminal possession of a weapon in connection to a deadly shooting in Rochester nearly 2.5 years ago. Back in October, the jury found 38-year-old Eric Leslie guilty of shooting 31-year-old Vernell Rose near North Goodman Street and Pennsylvania Avenue. Officers on scene September 30th, 2023, found Rose dead after being shot in the head. Leslie was found in his car after the shooting with 2 illegally possessed handguns. His sentencing begins at 9:30.
This week marks 1 year since Greece inmate Robert Brooks was beaten to death by prison guards at Marcy Correctional near Utica. The day the 43-year-old was moved to Marcy, he was beaten in the infirmary while handcuffed, and all of this was caught on body camera video. The officers left Brooks with a black eye, a broken nose, and severe injuries to his spleen, liver, and neck. His death was ruled a homicide. Yesterday marked a day of remembrance as advocates and loved ones in Albany called for an end to prison violence and the passage of several prison reform bills.
Our focus is on incarcerated folks. Incarcerated people need opportunities. They need to make sure that they are safe, and they need to gain skills and opportunity, and then provide this fair, fast, and safe way for them to come home. That's the true answer.
In October, 2 former COs were acquitted for their role in the attack. One, though, was convicted of murder and manslaughter. Several others who pled guilty previously have been sentenced for their roles in the deadly assault. Another will stand trial in January.
There is a lot of confusion surrounding SNAP benefits right now, with the pause during the longest government shutdown in history and changing requirements for those who are eligible. H.R. 1, also known as the Big Beautiful Bill, expands eligibility criteria for many adult SNAP recipients to work, volunteer, or participate in job training for at least 80 hours a month. FoodLink has a program that helps people overcome barriers to get their benefits like SNAP and WIC. Whitley Hasty is the benefits navigation manager at FoodLink. She says much of her team, along with herself, have needed to use SNAP in the past, so they understand any confusion surrounding eligibility requirements and the application process.
A lot of the assistance that we provide is to help folks, not lose them. These are hardworking people who have, full-time jobs, but are just still not able to put enough food on the table on a weekly basis.
SNAP provides monthly benefits averaging around $190 per person to about 42 million people across the country. To get in touch with Hasty and her team, you can call 585-413-5091. NewsAid is teaming up with Tops and FoodLink for Food for Families. You can donate a bag to help a family in need for $5, $10, or $20 at any Tops location. Friday, our team will be broadcasting live from the Tops on Mount Read Boulevard in Greece, so stop by and say hello.
I'll be there during sunrise and the whole team there all day as well on the Rochester First streaming app. Final check of your sunrise traffic. That is what you are going to face as you're about to head out the door the next couple of minutes. There are several minor accidents reported so far, things like spinouts around the city and on some of the main expressways, so take it easy headed out there. We'll get through this, and then we get another real cold stretch, not above freezing.
That's right. Cold blast will come. We're looking around at 4:30 this morning being like, where is it? What's going on?
Wait for it, and I just remember you kept saying 5, 6 o'clock, and sure enough, there it is.
Here it is. It is slick out there, and that's going to persist next couple hours. We peak. Look at the rest of the 8 days. What's the warmest day? Today.
Today, right, yeah.
This is it. We don't break freezing for the next several days. Maybe the middle of next week we get back above freezing, so a lot of cold air loading in.
We will see you at 9 o'clock for our podcast, Second Cup of Sunrise. Join us there. A lot to catch up on with James.
Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather. Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.